Are you planning your trip to Europe and have no idea how you'll get internet on your phone as soon as you get off the plane? Don't worry, because I went through the same thing and I'm going to save you hours of research. In this video, I'm going to show you the 3 best eSIMs for traveling to Europe in 2026, with real prices, pros and cons, and most importantly, which one is best for you depending on what kind of traveler you are. Because it's not the same for someone spending 5 days in Paris as it is for someone traveling through 10 countries in a month. Before we start comparing brands, let me quickly explain what an eSIM is, because a lot of people still think it's something complicated, but honestly, it's just the opposite. An eSIM is basically a digital SIM card. It works just like the physical SIM card we've always used, but you don't have to insert it into your phone. You just scan a QR code that you receive by email, and in less than 2 minutes, you already have internet working on your phone. It's that simple. Now, why do you specifically need it in Europe? For 3 very specific reasons. The first is roaming. If you arrive in Europe with your plan from Colombia, Mexico, Argentina, or wherever you're from and activate it there, they're gonna charge you a fortune. We're talking about bills of $200 or $300 easily for just a few days. The second reason is public Wi-Fi. Yes, there's Wi-Fi in almost every cafe and hotel, but it's slow, not very secure, and when you're walking down the street looking for a restaurant or trying to order an Uber, it's useless. And the third reason is convenience. You can buy your eSIM from home, install it before you travel, and activate it as soon as you land. It's that easy. But heads up, before you buy any eSIM, there are 2 things you absolutely have to check. The first is that your phone is compatible with eSIM. Most iPhones from Model 10 and up are, and many Samsung, Google Pixel, and Xiaomi phones too, but not all of them. The second is that your phone is unlocked, meaning it's not tied to a specific carrier. If you bought your phone directly with a postpaid plan, it might be locked, and in that case, the eSIM won't work for you. So my recommendation is to go to the website of the eSIM brand you choose. They have a list of compatible models. You can check it in 2 minutes and you're good to go. Now that we've got that clear, let's get to the good stuff, because not all eSIMs are the same, and picking the wrong one could cost you twice as much for no reason. Let's start with what I personally think is the best value for money on the market, and you'll be surprised at how cheap it is. Let me start with Saily, because this eSIM has really impressed me in a good way. I've tried it myself, and I can tell you that if you're looking for the option that gives you the most for your money, this one's the winner. Saily has a detail that makes it trustworthy right from the start. It's from the same company as NordVPN. In other words, people who've been in the connectivity and digital security game for years. And you can tell in the product, because they're not just selling you data, they're selling you a complete experience. Let's talk numbers. If you're traveling to just one country, let's say Italy, because you want to see Rome and eat pizza every day, you can get 1 gigabyte for 7 days for just over $3. If you need more data, 5 gigabytes will cost you around $20, and 10 gigabytes will run you about $30. But if you're planning to visit several countries, which is what most people do when they travel to Europe, the regional plan covers the main destinations on the continent, and they offer an unlimited data plan for 30 days that costs around $60, which is pretty reasonable. Now, something I really like about Saily is its interface. It's modern, intuitive, and installation is probably the easiest I've ever tried. Once you have it on your phone, you just buy a new plan from the app, and that's it. When you're traveling, that's pure gold. But what really convinced me were the extra features. It has an ad blocker, which also saves you data. It has web protection against malicious sites and phishing, and it has virtual location, which lets you pretend you're in your home country. Perfect for keeping up with that Netflix series that's only available in your region. These are the kinds of features you don't realize you need until you use them. That said, I'm gonna be honest. In some countries outside of Europe, the speed can vary a bit, but specifically in Europe, I didn't have any issues, and the coverage is solid in the main tourist destinations. If you've done even a little research on eSIMs, you've probably come across the name Airalo. And that's no coincidence, because it's probably the most popular brand in the world in this market. I've personally used it on several trips, and I'm gonna tell you when it's worth it and when it's not. Airalo has a huge advantage over the competition. Variety. They have plans in more than 200 countries, and within each country, they offer options ranging from 3 days to a year, with data from 1 gigabyte up to 100 gigabytes. So basically, whatever combination you need, they've got it. For Europe specifically, Airalo has a flagship plan called Eurolink, which covers 42 countries on the continent with a single eSIM. We're talking about Spain, France, Italy, Germany, Portugal, Greece, the Nordic countries, the whole lot. If your plan is to travel through several countries by train or plane, this saves you a huge headache because you don't have to keep switching eSIMs every time you cross a border. Let's talk about prices. The Eurolink plan gives you 10 gigabytes for 30 days for around $40. If you want more, 20 gigabytes will cost you about $50. And if you're going all out, the 50 gigabyte plan for 90 days is around $100. Compared to Saily, Airalo is a bit more expensive for the smaller plans, but when you start talking about 50 or 100 gigabytes, Airalo becomes more competitive. So if you know you're going to use a lot of data or you'll be traveling for a month or more, Airalo starts to make more sense. Another thing I like is that some of their plans include calls and texts, not just data. That can be useful if you need to book a local restaurant or confirm something with an airline. Not all the plans include this, but it's an option that Saily doesn't always offer you. Now we get to HolaFly, and this is the brand that divides opinions the most in the eSIM world. Why? Because their offer is different from all the others. Unlimited data. Just like that, no fine print, no tricks. HolaFly has positioned itself as the queen of unlimited plans. While Saily and Airalo sell you data by the gigabyte, HolaFly says, don't worry about that, use as much as you want. Let's look at the numbers. HolaFly offers you plans for Europe ranging from 5 days up to 90 days, all with unlimited data. A 5-day plan costs you around $20. A 10-day plan is about $40. And if you're staying for a whole month, the 30-day plan is around $70. It costs more per day than the other options, but you're paying for total peace of mind. And there's something else I like. Several of their plans include local calls. Now, here's the part where I have to be completely honest with you. HolaFly has 2 important drawbacks you should know about. The first and biggest one is that with most of their plans, you can't use your phone as a hotspot. If you're traveling with your laptop and we're planning to connect it to your phone's internet to work, with HolaFly, that doesn't always work. The second is that unlimited doesn't always mean without restrictions. Some users report that after using a certain amount of data per day, their speed drops noticeably. It's not official, but it's something that happens. We've reached the moment of truth. You already know the 3 best eSIMs for traveling to Europe, but you're probably wondering, okay, but in the end, which one should I buy? Don't worry, I'll break it down for you straight, depending on what kind of traveler you are. If you're a light traveler, the kind who wants to disconnect from their phone a bit, only using data for maps, messaging family, and checking social media a little at the end of the day, my direct recommendation is Saily. If you're an average traveler who plans to use your phone a lot for social media, videos, video calls, and maybe wants to connect your laptop to a hotspot to get some work done, then I recommend Airalo with the Eurolink plan. And if you're the kind of traveler who doesn't want to worry about anything at all, who wants to open Instagram, upload videos to TikTok, watch Netflix, and use Google Maps all day without a care, then HolaFly is your best option. The good news is that for all 3 options, I'll leave the links in the description with the best discounts available. That way, you lock in the best price on the market and save money before you even land in Europe. Simply click on the link for the specific one you've chosen, apply your discount code, and you're all set. And that's really all there is to it.